how God healed me of my binge eating addiction. I honestly feel like this could have been a disorder, but I feel like I don't really have the credentials to say that I used to have a disorder. So I'm just gonna say I had a binge eating addiction. I'm almost certain that this started because I lived with my grandparents when I was around 6 years old. My grandparents were so strict. We had to finish our plates before we could go to sleep, which honestly I don't really think would have been a big deal if they didn't feed me the proportions that they did. I was 6 years old and my grandma would feed me as much as my grandfather was eating. I would go to bed every single night with my stomach upset, and it was probably about a weekly occasion where I would actually throw my food up before I went to sleep because they would feed us so much food. There was one day where I was just so full and I just could not eat enough, but I knew that I would get in trouble. So I was chewing my food and I would spit my food up into little tissues, and then I would throw the tissues away because I literally could not eat all of the food. My grandparents caught on to me. They literally went in the trash. They opened every single tissue that was in there to see if I had spit my food up. That is how crazy my grandparents were. Living with them, I'm pretty sure, is what started this binge eating addiction. For this time, I would still continuously eat so much food to the point where it would make me sick, but I was so used to it that I could not stop eating until I felt sick. This went on for years. Probably around 2022 was when I started really trying to stop myself from binge eating and just stop myself from overeating in general, which I actually did improve myself a little bit during that time. Then when I got back from basic, towards the end of 2022, my binge eating habits, my binge eating addiction was back. I was able to stop for about 6 months, but then it came back naturally after I got back from basic. I was still struggling with binge eating after I got married. My husband and I got married in January of 2023, and for about the first 6 or 7 months of our marriage, I had to hide the fact from him that I was binge eating. It was so bad. Whenever he was at work and I was not, I really was craving to binge. I would go and get a dozen donuts. I would tell him that I was just hanging out at Target when actually I was just in the Target parking lot eating a dozen donuts. I honestly could have at this time ate 4 crumble cookies and not be sick. So whenever it started back up again around the time that I got married, my faith was skyrocketing. I was growing so much in my faith, so this is the time where I was like, I'm just gonna pray and I'm just gonna ask God for help because I cannot stop binge eating. Simply cannot do it. Around the time that I got married, I was praying. Probably, I don't even know how long I was praying for. All I know is that I was praying for a decent amount of time.